The biggest complaint about my generation is millennials know all the answers, but they can't do anything. Evidence is now coming out that the school system was hijacked by the ultra-rich years and years ago to never teach people what I know, what my rich dad taught me. They'll never teach you this in school, and there's a reason for it, to keep you working harder and harder and harder. Most millennials, they want a high-paying job. They want to be able to pay the rent, eat, and all this stuff. And then you dream of the big house, a nice car, and all that. But that's why 99% of Americans are broke, because their heads are on the wrong spot. And so when Kim and I met, we had nothing. It took us 10 years to go from nothing to financially free. But that's the power of focusing on assets versus liability. Most people are so busy working for money, so busy trying to pay their bills, and so busy buying liabilities they think are assets. So my first gift to Kim was the counting game to get her head in here, and today we're financially free. Everybody can do it. It's a matter of putting your head into the right column. And then for me, it was in '73, I took my first real estate investment course here. I'm free. There's government money, which is fiat currency, which is the dollar, the yen, the peso, the euro, the yuan. Fake. And everybody's working hard for it. It's like eating fake food. That's why people are getting sick financially, because they're working for fake money. And then there's fake assets, which is another part of the fake millennial, the fake generation series. If you look at what happened with the fake central bank, see, the purpose of the central bank or the Fed, or all, the Japanese, the Bank of Japan, or the European Central Bank, they pump out fake money. The purpose of central banks like the Fed is to protect the banks, not you. They're a criminal operation as far as I'm concerned. In school, they compensate for risk by telling you to memorize the right answer. So in other words, the young people leave school thinking, oh, if I know the right answers, then there's no risk. And it drives old guys like me crazy. Because everybody's talking about millennials. What's wrong with them? Millennials are the most highly educated generation in history. They have the cell phone. They didn't get educated in school. They got educated on social media. They know all the answers, but they're afraid of doing anything. The biggest complaint about my generation is millennials know all the answers, but they can't do anything. And the reason they can't do anything is because you might hurt somebody's feelings, you might make a mistake, and this just keeps you guys just trapped in this little box. So that's one of the reasons I think millennial money is such an important point here, because if you're going to come into my world, old guy's world, or the information age, you've really got to understand what is risky and what is not risky. If you don't take risks, you don't get smarter. So you may know the answer, but you can't do anything. And one of the best things I had is I went to military school, then I went to flight school. I had such great teachers, All of them could fly. So my flight instructor could fly. What a novel idea. A flight instructor can fly. But when I was in high school, most of my teachers were terrified. They're all cowards, job security. Don't make mistakes. Just memorize the right answer and you'll be safe. And that's why most school teachers aren't rich. If you're going to be successful, you've got to take some risk. When you look at this financial statement up here, that's what your banker wants to see. Your banker doesn't care about your grades. Your banker doesn't care what school you went to. I mean, so many people say, oh, my banker won't give me any money. Because you don't have one of these. And when you look at most of the politicians today, they don't have one of these either. The U.S. government doesn't have one of these anymore. They stopped doing this because of the U.S. government, the budget is so out of balance, they can't do anything. So that's why, 22 years ago, in 1996, I created the cash flow board game. The purpose of this, so people could teach people what our school systems will never teach you. Never. Because they don't know it. Because evidence is now coming out that the school system was hijacked by the ultra-rich years and years ago to never teach people what I know, what my rich dad taught me. So that's why most of our political leaders are broke. They're poor people. You know, who makes the most? The politicians. They got paychecks for life, they get benefits for life, they got all this stuff, but they're doing a horrible job. So you're going to depend upon the government to take care of you? That's crazy. I wrote about Ray Kroc, founder of McDonald's, and he was teaching at the University of Texas, the MBA program, and Ray asked, and most of the MBAs are going to come out here. So Ray Kroc asked him, he says, what business is McDonald's in? And everybody yelled and said, no, we know you're in hamburgers. And Ray says, no, we're not, McDonald's is not hamburgers. McDonald's is in the business of real estate. The money McDonald's makes buys the real estate. The formula I follow personally is McDonald's. We have education company that buys real estate, which means we make a lot of money, pay zero taxes, legally. They'll never teach you this in school, and there's a reason for it, to keep you working harder and harder and harder.